How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon X and Y. Last time we caught the legendary Pokémon Mewtwo in the Unknown Dungeon in the Pokémon Village, and we showed off both of its Mega Evolution forms, depending on the version that you're playing. And this time we're going to talk about the demo to Pokémon X and Y that was available on the game show circuit of things, Gamescom, PAX, things like that. And we're also going to talk about some event Pokemon. So without any further ado, let's get started by talking about that X and Y demo. So you'll be seeing a little bit of footage from NintenDaan, and courtesy to him for allowing me to share some of this footage. I will leave a link down below in the description to his channel as well as the full version of the video. So the demo is set in sort of a modified Route 4, and it features many familiar characters from the full game. The player character that you have is random, and their names are Xavier for the boy and Yvonne for the female. You also get a random starter. A Sylveon and a Helioptile are also provided for your team in the demo. You can battle your main rival, who has a Gabite, unlike in the full game. At the end of the demo, Professor Sycamore will give you a Mewtwo to use in battle. This Mewtwo is capable of Mega Evolution, but because Mega Mewtwo X was not revealed at the time, you use Mega Mewtwo Y. And finally, in battle, Sycamore will use a Crobat, Chandelure, and a Dragonite because the Mewtwo he gives you is able to use moves that are super effective against every single one of them. Once again, a huge shout out to NintenDaan for allowing me to use some of his footage. Down below again in the description will be a link to his channel, as well as the full demo. With that out of the way, let's talk about some event Pokemon. First and foremost is the event Torchic that was available from the launch of the game, October 12th, 2013, through January 15th, 2014, via the Nintendo Network. So this Torchic came in a Cherish Ball at level 10, with the ability Speed Boost, its hidden ability, and it was holding the Blazikenite, which at the time was the only Hoenn starter capable of Mega Evolution. So it came with the moves Scratch, Growl, Focus Energy, and Ember. It was met at an online present Fateful Encounter. Its nature was always random. Its original trainer was always XY, and it came with a Premier Ribbon. Its Wonder card read as follows: a special Torchic. It's a Torchic with a hidden ability, and it's holding a Mega Stone for you. This Pokemon will be a great help on your adventure in Pokemon X or Pokemon Y. Next, let's talk about the event mythical Pokemon of this game, that unfortunately don't have much substance to this game, and even if they did, which they kind of sort of do in a little way, I'm not able to show it off because I can't hack my game to include them in my file. Anyway, first up is Diancie, which came at level 50 in a Cherish Ball. It is a Rock and Fairy mythical Pokemon with the Clear Body ability, and it was holding the normal gem, with the moves Diamond Storm, Moonblast, Reflect, and Return. It was available via serial code thanks to GameStop locations in North America from October 16th, 2014 to February 28th, 2015. Now, when they were advertising this event, they also were saying, hey, you can trade it to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and then they released another Diancie event for that game, because Diancie got a Mega Evolution in ORAS. Yeah, it's kind of weird. They pretty much used Diancie to promote Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for its first event, and it wasn't really all too great in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about the next mythical Pokemon, Hoopa. Hoopa was made available in North America through Nintendo Zone at McDonald's as a tie-in to the, at the time, Hoopa and the Clash of Ages Pokemon the movie. You could download it in either X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It came at level 50, holding a Focus Sash with the ability Magician and a Cherish Ball. Its moves were Hyperspace Hole, Nasty Plot, Psychic, and Astonish. And it was available from November 27th, 2015 to December 23rd, 2015. Yeah, probably the weirdest mythical Pokemon event yet, in my opinion. If you downloaded Hoopa for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire instead of X and Y, you would get the Prism Bottle item, which would allow Hoopa to change forms. And last but not least is the mythical Pokemon Volcanion. Volcanion came at level 70, holding an Assault Vest, with the Water Absorb ability, with the moves Steam Eruption, Overheat, Hydro Pump, and Explosion, thanks to the serial codes at GameStop to tie in for the Pokemon, the movie, Volcanion, and the Mechanical Marvel. Oh god, that's a lot to say all at once. And it was available from October 10th, 2016 to October 31st, 2016 in either X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And that pretty much does it for all of the important event Pokemon in X and Y, or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because they kind of screwed over the legends in X and Y, or at least the ones native to X and Y. So there were some other side events like a Garchomp, a Shiny Gengar, things like that. The only other real important one, I guess, is something I can quickly mention here real quick, and that is an event, Vivillon, that had a Pokeball pattern for its design. And unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier on in the series, I'm not going to be able to show off all the Vivillon forms, so I'll leave like an image of all of them together on the screen, I guess, and hopefully the image will include what regions they are from. If not, I'm probably going to have to do that myself, and that'll be a little bit tedious, but I'm going to try to make it work. I guess there's something I can quickly mention, and that's the beta of Pokemon X and Y. Considering we talked about the demo a little bit earlier, I'll leave a link down below to an article showcasing multiple things of the beta for Pokemon X and Y. The most interesting, I think, or at least the most hilarious to me, in particular, is that when Go-Goat was first shown off, they showed a variation of its shiny coloring, which is quite funny. But I have talked about the beta here and there with a couple of things like the early Anastar Gym throughout this series, but I will leave a link down below again in the description to a full article compiling every single thing about that. And actually, while I'm looking at these notes here, I actually have another event Pokemon to talk about. Actually, it's an event Pokemon that has never been released. It is AZ's Floette, or otherwise known as the Eternal Flower Floette. In the data for the game exists code for an event relating to the Eternal Flower Floette, and I believe the data also exists in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire as well. I mean, probably considering there's a cameo for the flower that the Floette holds in Sootopolis City. Anyway, it's not legally obtainable in-game, of course, and it's not yet been distributed as of Generation 7. So, in addition to Floette's regular moveset, it learns the otherwise unused Fairy-type move, Light of Ruin. Light of Ruin is a very powerful move. Light of Ruin, I believe, if I remember correctly, has a base power of 140 with an accuracy of 90. I think it only has 5 or 10 PP? It's a special move, I know that for sure, but I believe that is everything that is correct about Light of Ruin. So this Floette's event data lists it at level 50, and obviously because it is an event Pokemon and it's a very special Floette, it cannot evolve into Florges with a Shiny Stone. So, also something interesting to note is that the Eternal Flower Floette's base stats are of course higher than a normal Floette, but its base stat total is 1 less than that of Florges, which is quite marvelous considering it's a middle stage Pokemon, but it's an event, so I guess it works out that way. Anyway, with that being said, that is going to do it for this episode of Pokemon X and Y. Next time, we will continue the legendary Pokemon theming by heading to the Terminus Cave once again, and delving deep inside to find a very, very shafted legendary Pokemon, and I'll get more into that next time. With that, thank you for watching, and until then, catch ya later.